And thank you. Congress ready to take up the Paycheck Fairness Act. What is it? Well, it would let women inquire about the salaries of their male counterparts to make sure that everything is fair. But is this legislation aimed at closing the gender gap or just a political move now to win over women voters before the election? Joining me now for a fair and balanced debate, Democratic strategist, principal of Clifton Consulting, and national editor of GoVote.com, Marjorie Clifton, along with Republican strategist and partner at Harcom Strategies, Tyler Harber. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so this was tried before, right, Marjorie? And it was voted down by the Republicans. Why is this such an important thing to do right now? Or is it a political move by the Obama campaign because they need the female vote?
Well, there's no doubt that the female vote is going to be important in this election cycle. And as a woman, I'm thrilled to see legislation moving. I don't care if Republicans do it or Democrats do it, but I think it's arguably a very, very important thing for all women. And even the members, the Republican members, the women members have said this shouldn't be a partisan issue. This is a women's issue, and it's a very important time. There's a lot of momentum and a lot of discussion around women in the workplace. Mitt Romney himself said what women value is the economy and jobs, and this is the quintessential bill of both economy and jobs for women.
Mm-hmm. So, Tyler, it's my understanding that this would allow women to inquire at their jobs about what their male counterparts make in a similar or same job, and that it would allow them to do that without getting in trouble for doing that. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, this legislation isn't about fairness. It's about litigation. This legislation will open the doors to thousands of frivolous lawsuits. And this legislation is built on the idea that there is widespread discrimination. Is there discrimination, gender discrimination? Sure there is. But the 2009 Labor Department study pretty much determined and outlaid that the discrimination or the gap between male and female had more to do with individual choices and not actual discrimination. This is a political ploy. Mm-hmm. This is to keep the pressure on Romney.
Let me read the statement from that 2009 Department of Labor report on gender wage disparity. The raw wage gap should not be used as the basis to justify corrective action. Indeed, there may be nothing to correct. The differences in raw wages may be almost entirely the result of the individual choices being made by both male and female workers. Marjorie, how do you respond to that?
Well, I work with women every day in the work that I do, specifically on leadership. And one of the things that women have a really hard time doing that men do really well is actually negotiating their salaries. Only 33% of women actually negotiate their salaries in their first 10 years of their jobs, and they lose over $1.5 million over the course of their entire career because of that wage gap. Mm-hmm. And so what this legislation does is actually provide cover for them so that if they do inquire, if they do protest for having a wage disparity, that they've got coverage. And so, you know, frankly, I don't understand why. I mean, I understand that there's legal costs involved, but corporations should be glad and should be quite honest about what people are making. This is about kind of pulling the curtain back about who's getting paid what, and that's fair.
Tyler, wouldn't this all be fixed if corporations just paid men and women equally if they were doing exactly the same job and the same hours put in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say that most of them are. You know, I think we're trying to build out a problem here that doesn't exist as widespread as everyone wants to believe that it does.
No, I'm sorry. I have to say it does exist. I mean, you look at Latino women, they're making 52 cents to the dollar. African-American women, 61 cents to the dollar. And the average woman is making 77 cents to the dollar. And, again, working with women every day, I hear and know what they're making in comparison to their male counterparts. And it's a reality.
But this legislation will set back women overall because now corporations will be afraid that they're going to get sued. And so this legislation single-handedly could push back women's rights and women's empowerment by 20 years.
I can't believe that because I think that corporations are seeing the value in the women employees. They know what women are bringing to the economic power of companies. There's data around having more women on your boards, having more women in your senior leadership actually results in companies making more money.
Very true. I got to wrap it up there, guys, but a very interesting fair and balanced debate. It'll be interesting to see what Mitt Romney decides to do because both candidates want the female vote. Thanks very much to Marjorie Clifton and Tyler Harber. Have a great week.
Thank you.